Welcome in, everybody, to another edition of the Crunch Time Coaches Show here on Amateur Sports TV. I'm your host, Joe Hamilton, along with Coach Daniel Braun. Dan, how you doing?
I'm doing good tonight, Joe. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Doing pretty good. Well, it seems like you've made a little bit of improvement since the last time we talked. Let's first talk about that Parkway South game. You beat them 46-43. What did you see in that game that went positive? We'll start with the positives first in this game.
Positives this week, we ended up getting the win. You know, it was close down the stretch. We were able to kind of execute, stick to our principles, execute down the stretch over the last couple minutes. And that, it's always nice to get a win. Felt very good about that one.
What were some of the things that you liked in this game, that kind of sealed victory for you guys? Was it more discipline? Was it better play with the ball? What was it?
Yeah, a little bit more discipline. We cut our turnovers down a little bit. We spread the scoring out, a little bit more. It was a low-scoring game, as you can see. We only had 5 players score, but we had, Nick Seitz was our leading scorer that game, and he hasn't been our leading scorer, so it was nice to, get contributions that I know he's capable of, and, he's playing pretty well right now, so it was nice to get that contribution for him and get his confidence up a little bit.
Was his confidence kind of reeling there, Coach?
No, I don't really think so. Confidence is always going to be down a little bit when you're not winning basketball games, but our guys come in, they work hard every day in practice, and they have high expectations for themselves, and they're not down on themselves necessarily, but it's always nice to get that win. Always boost that confidence a little bit more.
What were some of the takeaways that you want to get? I mean, every game you're always going to have some gripes. What were some of the gripes in this game?
I felt going into the fourth quarter that game against Parkway South, I felt like we could have pulled away a little bit. Defensively, we gave up a little bit of a run there in that fourth quarter. And that's just kind of something that happens at the beginning of the fourth quarter, and we were able to execute at the end of the game and kind of close it out. But I felt like we were in a position where we could have closed them out earlier.
Yeah, that's always, you really want to close teams out. Well, you did that with Hickman on the 11th, and I'll tell you what, or they did that to you, excuse me. They did what you wanted to do to Parkway South, and what made this game get away from you guys?
That Hickman game is, we dug ourselves a hole early. We turned the ball over, 3 out of our first 5 possessions, and they turned them into 10 easy points right away, and we dug ourselves in a 10-point hole, in the first couple of minutes. 10-point hole in the first couple of minutes is very tough to recover from. After that first quarter, especially after the first half, we played them even the rest of the way. Was very happy with that, but we just dug ourselves such a hole early on, turning the ball over. There were live ball turnovers that led to layups. Just very tough to recover from there.
It really is. I mean, it's 10 points in the first 2 minutes of the game. That's a tough one. Right. Were there some positive things you saw in this game? Or was there a guy that stood out in this game? I mean, you did score 57 points in this game.
Individually, I don't think there was one person that I want to single out from that game that, that played above and beyond. But overall, I think as the game went on, our understanding of what we're trying to do offensively, the principles really picked up. The days of practice after that game, our understanding of the offense has really picked up, and we're becoming more patient in the offense. And it's still, it's a process, and we're not perfect. We're far from perfect right now. But I'm seeing progress every single day in practice, and as long as that continues, I'll be happy. We'll be pushing towards the right direction by the end of the season.
And this was a really, really close game. Let's talk about this one, because Seckman, you lose to them 68-66, and that game was close, probably down to the final buzzer. First of all, let's get the negative out of the way first, because there's a lot of positive in this game. The thing is, you guys just couldn't finish him. What was it? What was it that you couldn't do against Seckman that you really wanted to do?
Yeah. So this game actually went into overtime. We lost in overtime.
Yeah.
But the last, minute of the game or so, we gave up, 5 or 6 offensive rebounds. We let them get into the lane a few too many times late and in overtime, and kind of get layups and then foul opportunities, get to the free throw line, and I feel like we didn't handle business the way we needed to at the end of the game. We're a box out away from winning the game in regulation, and then again they actually hit a 3-point shot at the buzzer of regulation to send it into overtime, which was a tough little break for us. I thought we played great defense on it. In my mind, there wasn't enough time to foul when we were up by 3 on the clock. We kind of just had to play them straight up, and I thought we defended the inbounds play pretty well. They just made a shot, and that's something that's kind of out of our control. I thought we did. Yeah, we did things right there. Guys did what I asked them to do in the timeout, and they made the shot. But the frustrating part is we probably shouldn't have been in that situation if we would have rebounded a little bit better, and if we would have made free throws better throughout the game.
Now, there might be a guy or two in this game that you want to signal out just because scoring 66 points, man. I mean, that's right. Pretty huge.
Yeah, we had 4 guys in double figures that night, which is huge for us. We don't have one guy that I think is going to be, a 20-point night scorer, but we got, 5, 6, 7 guys that I think could score 12, or 15 on any given night. So, on this night, we had Nick Seitz with 13. We had Eric Omer with 11. Joey Barrett had 15, and Blake Wenzel at 12. You're spreading your scoring out a little bit. That's gonna help you be more successful. So, was very happy with that.
Yeah, I'd be happy with that performance as well. Yeah, she didn't win the game, but they did show some heart, and hopefully, as we get into some of these other games, you're at Pattonville coming up. You're at Cape Girardeau Central. And then you're home against Hazelwood West, excuse me.
Yep.
Talk about that Pattonville team. I wouldn't say it's an easy win. I just haven't heard much about them. Talk about the things that they do. I don't know if you have seen video on them yet.
They're a very good team. They're one of the better large school teams in the area. Right now they're sitting at 10-1. They score the ball. Probably as good as any team around here right now. They got some great athletes. They got some good size. They can really get up and down the floor. It's going to be a tough one tomorrow night against them.
What's the big, pushing point you're trying to drive home to your guys?
For us offensively, it's pretty basic, and I've kind of given you the same answer throughout the season. But if we take care of the basketball, we're going to be okay. Games that we turn the ball over a lot, we struggle. Games that we take care of the basketball, we give ourselves a chance. So offensively, we take care of the basketball. I trust that our guys that are talented enough can put the ball in the basket enough that we can fight. And then defensively, we just have to, play proper positioning, do everything the right way, take a couple charges, and we'll be good, and then finish with the box out. Those are things you have to do when you're playing a team that – maybe more athletic than you, maybe a little bit more talented, maybe bigger. You just got to do all those little things really, really well. When you do those things well, you got a chance.
Yeah. So, and then you're at Cape Girardeau Central. That should be a fun game as well. They're a very good team. They're a team that's going to pose a challenge to you. And we talked about this before, Coach, that you want to put teams like this on the calendar just because you want to measure yourself. How do you feel? How would you feel going into this? I know there's only one game before this, so how would you feel? How do you feel going into that game? Not necessarily to take out the win, but to show where you are.
Yeah. So that Cape Girardeau Central team, they play a little bit of a different style than Pattonville. They're a little more grinded out. They really take care of the basketball. They want to slow the pace a little bit, but they are extremely talented. And we won't even have a practice to prepare for them. We haven't, as a team, looked at any film. Coaching staff has, and we'll have about an hour shoot around before we head down south to Cape Girardeau with the guys to kind of go through some matchups and things like that. But what you're looking for when you have a young team like we do that's playing games back-to-back nights, we want them to come out that second night and really compete hard, really do the things that we're asking, and the things we're asking are sticking to our main principles. There'll be some different matchup things that we'll throw in there based off the personnel that we're playing. But if we stick up to our principles, we work hard, we bring that energy that second night, which is always hard to do. The results take care of themselves if we take care of what we can control.
That's exactly right. Don't look too far ahead. And then you got Hazelwood West on the 26th, and this should be a good matchup for you too. This is actually a noon game.
That Hazelwood West game, not really sure what to expect. They just started practicing a couple weeks ago. I don't think they've even had a game played yet. So we'll just kind of see what happens there. Not really sure what to expect from them. But it comes back to ourselves. We'll have a day of practice to prepare for them. We take care of what we can control. I'll put us against anybody around.
As always, Coach, with these road games coming up, let me know where I can go watch those. And by the next time we talk, I'm hoping you see some improvement in your team, man. So thank you for doing this again. And we'll be doing this, I believe, next Thursday, maybe?
I believe so. That sounds right. Next Thursday. Yep.
Next Thursday. So be on the lookout for that for those watching right now. For Dan Braun, I'm Joe Hamilton. Be sure to join me on Crunch Time Nightly every night here on Amateur Sports TV. Until then, I'm Joe Hamilton. We will see you guys soon.